Your neighbor, they're destroying your community. When you first bought your home, you moved into a community, a neighborhood, maybe with neighbors that all have similar like kind interests. Maybe it's a particular school district, things of that nature. But what we're seeing on a consistent basis is we have some neighbors that are absolutely destroying communities based on one simple thing. And in this video, I want to cover some of those items and how you as a neighbor can kind of protect yourself and provide guidance to that neighbor so that you can prevent some of these things happening. Let's get into it. That are on a consistent basis, we meet with homeowners who are considering selling their property. Some of these community members have been involved in their neighborhood for 20, 30, 40 years. And it's time for them to have a change of pace. Maybe they're relocating, they're getting closer to family. There are a number of stories of why this comes up on a consistent basis. But what we're noticing is that some of these homeowners have elected to go a different route than sell their properties conventionally. And there's several reasons why. One that is very popular that comes up is that they don't want to be inconvenienced. They don't want people trampling through their property and they want it very simple. On top of that, most of these homes have not had any renovations done in the past 20 years. So like we could say it's like the best of the 80s style home. Maybe it's even before that. Some of these homes have been around since the 50s and 60s in San Diego County. And I want to get specific with regards to San Diego County. Now, I see this happening across the United States, and I'm privy to some of that information, but I want to document my backyard, specifically my community in La Mesa, California, so that you can see what's happening and that you can better understand maybe that you're a neighbor and how you could help your fellow neighbor to make sure that you have a community that's sustainable and that has fellow neighbors that have vested interest to make sure that the commonality of because you moved there for the school district or you moved there because you had like kind items with your neighbors. We want to continue that. And that's how communities thrive and flourish. So, this neighbor that's been there for a number of years, maybe they've decided to sell their home. Maybe they've told you something, maybe they haven't. But it's always good to be involved and check in on your neighbors, especially ones that have been a seasoned community member for a period of time. And the reason I say that is sometimes they don't have family, sometimes they don't have anyone that is local. And they need that extra set of eyes to just keep an eye on them, make sure that they're okay, and do that neighborly thing. Be involved with your neighbors for that community support. And when these neighbors come up and they're going to make a change in their life, I have seen consistently, and even this year, we have had multiple appointments where they feel that selling their property and just, I'm going to say, wholesaling it out at a discounted price would be more convenient and less headache than just putting it on the active market and let some buyer who actually has a vested interest in that community purchase it because they don't want to do any work. They don't want to fix it up. And I understand all those concepts. So they're selling their homes basically on a cash type basis to probably an investor more often than not. And that's a service that we provide. Not all brokerage firms have this. And I am a real estate agent by trade. I've been practicing over 25 years in San Diego County. And these are services that we offer if that is an avenue for that particular client. But there's some things that I think, if you want to call it as the nosy neighbor, we can share. So, for example, if a client, and this is literally from an appointment that I had this week with a client, there are cash options if that neighbor does not want anyone to come through their property or want to be inconvenienced by a set of inspections or anything of that nature. And by the way, even if you use someone that you saw on TV for some type of cash offer, they're still going to do inspections. I just want to forewarn you of that. But specifically, we have options and there are options out there for every homeowner. Now, why I share this is because I have seen on a consistent basis, especially even in my own community, where flippers or internet based buyers or cash offer investors are coming into neighborhoods. They have no vested interest in the community at all. Their only interest is making money. And I'm all about you doing your thing and running your business. Here's the biggest difference between me and probably most real estate agents. I actually find that there should be an ethical value in ensuring that communities exist, thrive, and are a great space for neighbors and homeowners to be able to thrive in that community. And flippers aren't doing it. They're not helping the community at all. And I'll get into the specifics of it. Let me show you how. So when I bought a home in La Mesa, California, it was one of the ugliest homes on the street, for lack of a better way to put it. But I had the vested interest to fix up the property and do a lot of things. In my particular case, I bought a home in 2003, and it took me almost 2 years to get through the county of San Diego to go through plan check. Now, the reason I share that is because that's an investment in my community. And when you remodel or do anything, you should be filing for permits. And right on the website for the County of San Diego, you can actually see what it costs to process a permit through the County of San Diego. Now, I am in the community of La Mesa. My property happens to sit in the County of San Diego. It's a little bit unique. I'm outside the municipality's border of the city of La Mesa. So I deal with the County of San Diego, which is most of the area I work, which is outside city boundaries. I deal with rural parts of San Diego County as a real estate agent. And what you're going to see is that it costs money to remodel, and they are even more on top of things these days. And I was just reviewing as I was going through some of these numbers. We recently put solar on our home. And when we put solar on our house, I had $8,500 in plans and fees to process the permits just to put solar on my property. Now, that solar permit didn't take very long. It's just a couple weeks as compared to when I fully remodeled my house back in 2003, and it took almost 2 years and a lot more money. But what I want to touch on is why, when selling your home to a flipper style person or investor who has no vested interest, it's really ruining communities. Now, you saw the permit fees that are on there, and they're on the county website, but this is what you don't see. When you file for permits to improve a property, there's things that are called school fees, and there's local fees involved in that to enhance a community and support the local school district. Yeah, now we vote on bond measures and things of that nature, but have you ever thought about one of the reasons that we have so many bond measures is because we have a group of investors coming into the community and they're not supporting or doing or processing legally what they're doing to properties and then selling them. They're taking all the profit for themselves. Well, for example, on Grossmont Union High School District's website, right here, it shows you where your fees go when you pay your school fees as a homeowner and you're remodeling. So let's say you're adding a second story or you're adding more square footage. That's actually where your fees go. They're going to the local community to support and enhance and improve the community that you live in. Same with the city of La Mesa. So here's La Mesa Spring Valley School District. Right on their website, it actually advertises exactly what you're going to pay if you are remodeling a residential property. And it adds up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is cheap. And in some cases, we work with clients to go back and forth of whether or not it's worth remodeling their property, or is it better to sell your property and buy something that's already finished. Based on the cost of building right now, we have seen it's actually better to buy square footage than it is to remodel and build it. All on top of that is time. The cost of time can be incremental with regards to what you have to do in your lives. So when you are selling a property as a loyal community member and you've elected to go this cash route, those flippers aren't paying any of those fees. I'm going to give you an example in our community. This literally just happened. So this is a home in the Mount Helix community of La Mesa, California. This home was just sold for $1,357,000. Now, what you don't see on this, and if you scroll way down, and if you're, I'm not opposed to anyone using any type of internet-based research or looking at property, I tell my clients, look at everything. But where you're going to get your real answers is from a seasoned agent that actually understands how these systems work. And what you go and specifically scroll all the way down to see is that, excuse me, this whole home sold for 1,359,000. That this home was bought in July of 2024 and then put back on the market in November of 2024. Now, there is no physical way to go ahead and process permits that fast to get a property back up on the market and have it fully finished. So this particular flipper, who is an LLC that's listed for the property, did the rehab of the property, then puts the property back up on the market. Let's look at the numbers. They bought the property for $915,000. They put the property back up on the market at $1,449,000, almost a 60% increase from what they originally bought the property for. Now, did any of those fees go to the local community? And I would bet that they probably have their business structured. They're not paying any type of capital gains tax or anything of that nature on those funds that they generated. So why I bring this to light is one specific thing. I'm talking or speaking on behalf of a lot of home buyers in this marketplace. I'm speaking to you as a seller, as the home buyer, that, you know what, I love your neighborhood. I love your community. And if you've ever thought about selling your home, give me a chance. Give me a chance as a home buyer that wants to move into the community. We're in escrow right now. And one of the specific things, and I love the fact that I deal with sellers like this. I have had the joy recently of representing a lot of trustees who are selling off either their parents' properties or a property that was in their family for a number of years. And almost every single one of them, with the exception of one, most recently has been adamant that they truly want to see the property go to a homeowner that's going to live and thrive in the community. Even though the home might have some deficiencies, it needs some repair, they're willing to compensate on price to give that home buyer a chance to be able to become vested in that neighborhood and thrive in that community, because that's what the community was for them and their family back when they bought the property 20, 30, 40 years ago. So these are some of the things that I bring up, and specifically, I wanted to share with you how you, as a nosy neighbor, if you want to call them that, but I would say as a community member that's vested in your different neighborhoods, whether it be in La Mesa, California, or across the United States, if you have people in your community, and maybe it's that ratty old downtrodden home that hasn't been taken care of, pay attention, because I'm sure that you have friends that have been looking to try and move into your community and work out something. Be vested so that you can secure and benefit your neighborhood. And not only are you benefiting the seller, because 9 times out of 10, a home buyer that wants to move into community will pay a better price than any investor on the market, because the investor's only concerned about their numbers. Clearly, they're not paying fees. They're not paying for permits. They're not paying for anything to make the community better. So I am asking you to make sure that if you have people like that, if you have that neighbor that needs some help and they may consider selling their home, go ahead and reach out. Maybe your local real estate agent has somebody already, or you have that friend that has been looking to move into your neighborhood. Give them a chance. I guarantee you your community will thrive because of it. And not only in a specific neighborhood sense, the entire city actually thrives when you have people there that have a vested interest and a common goal to make their city better. So I hope you got some value out of this video. Stay tuned, because we got some great community videos coming out, and I want to make sure that you see all those. But I want to make sure, because I've gotten a lot of questions recently with regards to what people can do in their neighborhood to secure the fact that they want their community to thrive and make sure it exists for future generations. So I appreciate you. And as always, stay tuned for the next one.